Season win, I think, between the conference tournament and the regional, and now these first two games of the World Series, we certainly have kept it entertaining. I don't know if that's always good or bad for us, but we're finding a way to win ball games. And I told the guys at the end of the game, there's nothing about style points at the end of the year. It's all about wins. So whether we get it by scoring runs late, or you win by one, or you win by 8 or 9, it's all the same, and we're moving on. I thought Kean certainly is a team that's built to do well in the postseason. They're a very well coached team. They pitch and play great defense. They certainly know how to be. They don't know how to take advantage of opportunities offensively. They've got a lot of guys who are multiple option threats, whether it's bunting, hitting and running, stealing bags, or even hitting for power. So JP, I thought, did a good job of holding them down. Obviously, we gave them a couple of runs in situations where I think if we'd have had those back, we would have certainly thrown up a 0 more often than not. But JP was able to come back. His pitch count got up toward the end, but he battled through some tough innings with runners on base, and got some big outs, and then we turned the ball over to Luke. Our bullpen certainly has been outstanding for us throughout the postseason. Tonight was no different. Luke was, I think, a little amped up there when he first got into the ball game, but in that ninth inning, that was more of the Luke Watson that we know. He was down in the zone, mixing all his pitches, and didn't even give him a sniff, a chance to get on the bags and tie the game. So had a 3 spot in the 8th. Some big hits, advantageous opportunities. I thought Bobby was huge there with his dirt ball read with 2 outs, advancing to third, and Brighton following behind him. And then Dan certainly clutched up and got a huge 2 RBI single to give us the lead. And Dan's been in so many big situations in his career. He was here as a freshman, started in the World Series in 2010. And our guys look up to him, and they know that we can count on him when it matters, and he certainly delivered tonight for us, and very proud of him and proud of our guys for a very hard-fought win.
Their pitcher said that you were sitting on a fastball and that single you hit to drive in the 2 runs. Were you, and how many fastballs did you guys see from the guy? It didn't look like many at all.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't many, but what the coaching staff, teaches us is sit on a fastball and then adjust to off speed. That's how we go into every game, no matter who's pitching. Sit on the fastball and then adjust to curveball or changeup. And he was throwing a lot of curveballs. I think he started off just about every one of our hitters first time through with a curveball. But I mean, our mentality stayed the same. Sit on a fastball, and if you get a curveball, adjust. So we ended up taking advantage of the fastballs late in the game, and it paid off.
JP, how much did it feel kind of a grinder outing tonight at some point? They got those couple of runs. Did you feel in control or just kind of grinding through the start?
I mean, it was definitely a grind out battle the entire way, but I felt in control. I mean, I felt like I was just a little wild in the beginning, but sooner or later, later in the game, I started to settle down, and off-speed definitely worked a lot better. So it was a grind out battle though, for sure.
And so what was going through your mind at that point after that second and third, 2 outs, trying to keep going to win a bracket?
Just trying to stay calm and confident, trying to not make it too big of a situation. Coaching staff always tells us that sometimes it looks like we change at the plate when we get runners in scoring position. So later on in the year here, we've tried to just stay relaxed, stay confident, and just trust our ability, trust what we've worked on all year, and just trust our instincts and let it fly.
If you guys would have lost that game yesterday, obviously you would have faced a different opponent than Kean, but can you measure how close you guys are to being home right now versus being where you are, in this tournament?
I think there's a fine line between winning and losing for everybody. Certainly we're playing with fire at certain times with the way that we've not taken advantage of opportunities early in ball games, and then the way that we've given up some of our runs. Most nights you can't afford to. We walked 8 guys, and most nights you walk 8 guys, you're going to lose that ball game. So we understand. I know our kids. I know our kids understand the need to cash in on opportunities when they present themselves, and the need to limit just unforced mistakes. I guess walks are an unforced mistake in baseball, errors certainly, and then just giving them opportunities to get free bags of advancement, whether it's a stolen base, a delayed steal, or what have you. So, yeah, we've definitely been playing with fire a lot of times. At the same time, I think it takes a thick-skinned club to be able to play that way and to get into trouble like that and to still have the resolve to come back at the end. So, it drives us nuts at times, certainly, when we do some of those things, but you still have to stay the course and find a way to get it done when it matters. And so we're facing a very good club tomorrow night in Linfield, and I'm certain that they will take every advantage if we don't sharpen up some of the things that we need to sharpen up on.
Kind of, you mentioned a thick-skinned club. Was there a point this season where you went, yeah, these guys have that, or has it just always been a characteristic?
Well, certainly we've always worked to develop that over the course of the season. And the first way you develop it is the minute you schedule your opponents and you lay it out for your season. And we don't want cupcake teams on the schedule. We want to play good teams, and at times we'll lose a few games that maybe other teams don't, and our record doesn't look as flashy earlier in the season. But we want to play good competition. We want to be tested. We want our kids to understand how to deal with failure, how to deal with tough challenges during the course of a game, and I think it's a microcosm for what they got to deal with in life. So, that it's prepared us up to this point, and we've been fortunate to be on the winning end of a lot of these one-run games. But I think it's due in large part, and I think the kids would agree that it's got a lot to do with the schedule we've played and the tests that we've had to face throughout the course of the season.
JP, I mean, you gave a 7-loss tonight. I feel like 21 in 70 innings coming in to today's game. Have you ever had an outing like that this year where you couldn't find the zone?
I mean, besides my first outing of the year, I would say that the rest of the year I've been in control, and so obviously the crowd and everything got me a little amped up, but it was minor pitches. If I would have just had an inch here, inch there, could have been a lot better outing.
Pat, when you went with Luke, was there anybody else you were thinking of at that point, or was Luke going to be your guy? And was that a big change with JP when you're considering how you were lining up the relievers?
Luke was our guy tonight at the back end from the 7th inning on. We have certain guys lined up earlier in the ball game, and we like to work Brad Strike off of JP early in the game if it gets to that. But since Ty had thrown about 50 pitches last night, he wasn't an option for us. So we were going to go to Luke Watson late, and then if we had to then squeeze another inning out of somebody, we were looking at Max Frederick, possibly for an inning. But JP, just kind of going back, JP I think had really good stuff tonight. I don't know, he certainly missed a little more than he should have at times, but his two-seamer was really running. He was getting a lot of late movement on the ball, and I just think that he threw a lot of pitches that were down in the zone the way we want him to. And sometimes you get that call and sometimes you don't, but they're a team that's going to battle you pitch to pitch, and even though the walk number is really high, we wanted him to make sure that he was staying down in the zone, because I think anytime against these teams you can stay down there and have late movement, you can be successful.
And in Whitewater it was Riley and Jimmy. Last night it was Brighton. Tonight it's you. What does it mean to the team to when you're stepping in the batter's box? Hey, if I don't get it done, I know someone behind me will.
Yeah, it's huge to know that we got guys behind us that will pick us up if you don't get it done. We preach that all year. If one guy doesn't get it done, then the next guy steps up and gets it done for him. So yeah, it's been like that all year, and it's kind of just showing here towards the end in the bigger game. So yeah, we're gonna keep it going, and I like the way it's working out, I guess.
Dan, you found out tonight, it's kind of on a personal note, you broke a record tonight with a couple hits, I believe. Someone told us tonight you actually set a record for hits. I guess just talk about that achievement, especially in a big spot like this.
It's a great honor with all the guys that have gone through here. But what I'm more concerned about is getting the W for my teammates. we've been through a lot this year, and anything that I get is not a big deal to me. What I want to go out as is a national champion, and that's the main thing. We got the W tonight, and we got a big game tomorrow, and that's what I'm focused on. So,
Coach, have you implemented any type of key phrase in the World Series? What I mean is, that's a phrase that you guys are saying repeatedly to keep yourselves focused on, you know, the prize at hand here, or is that something that you don't really implement?
I'm not a big gimmick guy. I think our kids they know that we're all about just trying to get it done, and that actions speak a lot louder than words. I think that there's a lot of different motivational ploys that get used throughout the course of a season, but when you're at the College World Series and you're playing for a national title, the kids are plenty motivated. They want to win, and so most of the time we got to work hard, try not to get them too amped up. But most of the time during the course of the game, it's just a matter of just staying the course, trusting the process, and never just getting too high or too low. I mean, we obviously have faced some deficits in ball games. The majority of ball games we played in here, it seems like lately, the last couple of weeks, we've had a deficit at some point. And you got to have the mentality to be confident that you can believe in your teammates, that you're going to stick around in ball games and have a chance to win. But you got to play fearless. I mean, you really cannot worry about failing. You cannot worry about what happens if you don't win this game and you got to win tomorrow. You can't focus on that. So we just stick to what we can control, and trust that what we've done to get us to this point, as long as we stay sharp and take care of some of the things that we need to clean up with regard to our fundamental play, is going to give us an opportunity in any ball game.